It's the Rip City Wrap-Up, brought to you by Dick Hanna Subaru. Believe in nice. Here are your hosts, Tyree Smith, Danny Marang, and Joe Simons.
Well, hello. We got new digs, too. Welcome to episode 10 of the Rip City Wrap-Up, sponsored by Dick Hanna Subaru. Listen, guys, feels good. All right, shout out to Dick Hanna Subaru for being our sponsor. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining us on episode 10 of the Rip City Wrap-Up on the Rip City TV network. Danny Marang, Joe Simons. Feels weird to say episode 10 already.
Double digits.
Double digits.
We're all grown up.
It goes by quick.
It does go by quick. Well, this game actually went by kind of quick if you looked at it and you watched it from start to finish. 118 to 105, the final. Portland Trail Blazers fall on the road to the San Antonio Spurs. But we also saw the return. The quote for today, return of the Mac. Well, we going to replace that return of the Shay because he was on the court again. Robert Williams was also available, but we didn't see him on the court. But we did. Soon. It's coming soon. But we did see Mr. Shaden Sharp, the high flyer himself. Guys, overall thoughts of the game right now, 118 to 105. The Blazers fall to 3-6.
My first thought is, I told you you don't have to worry about the losses. Like I know,
he said that in a different way in the office earlier. So that's the sanitized version that you all are getting on television.
But this is kind of what I was talking about in the sense of like the offense is going to be kind of up and down. But the effort's not going to wane. I thought tonight you saw what this team is going to be. It's going to be a team that's going to get up and down. They're going to be disruptive. Obviously, Shaden, I think, is the big takeaway tonight. I thought he was incredibly good in his return. I think you genuinely saw the single best pass he's had of his young career tonight. We talked about getting Shaden Sharp back. It wasn't just the promise of like what his potential could be.
That ceiling's so high.
It is, but it was also lifted up by kind of the reports that I heard this summer. And when you hear it from, and again, this is every team does this, isn't unique to Blazers. When you hear it from internally, it's like, oh no, this player's taking a leap. Like you always go, okay, and you kind of file that away. But when you hear it from other players or other executives or agents or whoever else in the league,
they're validating the stories that you often hear these franchises purport themselves.
And then in other cases, they're like, maybe 10. And I didn't get any of that with Shaden. And that was the thing. It was coming into this. And so when he got hurt in camp, it was doubly frustrating.
Devastating.
Because it was like, look, he gets hurt last year. He gets shut down. He hasn't played since January 11th last year, or this year, which is essentially 11 months removed from action.
It's a year for him to grow, and if he's not in there playing, you're not going to see the development like you've seen from other players so early on in the season. And so it becomes not only this thing where it's like, okay, we want to see Shaden hit his ceiling, but it's also you see growth for so many other Blazers in this young season. You're like, God, if we just had Shaden be a piece of that. And he was tonight, and you saw not only glimpses of it, but I mean, he fit like a hand in a glove. It's like he didn't miss a game being in rhythm with everybody else on the floor.
No, honestly, when you watched him, he also didn't look out of shape.
No, that's the nice thing. It's a shoulder injury, so he can still move
run
for the most part. Like game conditioning is different.
Yeah,
like that's always going to be a thing, and that's part of the reason why I think you only play 20 minutes tonight. You want to kind of ramp him up, make sure. Look, everybody, there's NBA shape and then there's NBA game shape. It's different. You can't simulate that. You just got to kind of get your wind back. The really interesting thing I think from Shaden tonight was that you saw him kind of run the gamut of what you expect from him. He had a back cut that led to a layup where you just went, that's something that's been missing. Like Toumani Camara has got good cutting awareness, but he doesn't have necessarily the body control or the explosiveness to necessarily finish some incredible plays. Shay, if you just put it near, you just kind of know that he's got that otherworldly, that preternatural body control and that finishing ability. And you saw him work as a cutter. You saw him work as a three-point shooter. You saw him finish dunks. You saw him finish high off the glass over Wemby. Like, you just saw him kind of fit in.
That finish was beautiful, man. To be able to have the awareness of your body and a player like Wemby, your first game back, like you're getting the ultimate test going to the basket, facing Victor Wembanyama, and you haven't played a game in months and months and months, and you're able to execute at that level. That's why everyone's so excited about him. There is no ceiling. There's no ceiling, folks.
No ceiling.
The ceiling is the roof.
Exactly.
Seriously, it gets me excited as well, but it gets us so excited. We're going to talk more about that. Right now, we are on K2 2.1 right now, so at 8 o'clock, make sure you turn over to K2 2.2. Supercharge. Make sure so you can continue to listen to us. But let's go ahead and listen to our new sponsor from Dick Hanna Subaru. Joe, Let's hear that beautiful voice. What you got for us?
At Dick Hanna Subaru, they're all about making the car buying experience a pleasure. Not only does every new Subaru come with a lifetime powertrain warranty, but for a limited time, you also get 2 Mount Hood Fusion Passes with your purchase or lease. Dick Hanna Subaru, they believe in nice. Visit today and see what makes them different, Tyree.
So nice, you might as well say it twice. Well, we could, but we'll do it a little bit later.
On 2.2.
On 2.2.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Make sure to turn over at 8 o'clock p.m. on the dot. But just overall, from my perspective as well, when you look at this game, there was a lot of spots that I was like, oh, they're going to get this W. They're going to get this W. Despite being down probably at 5 or 7 points, I felt like the momentum and just the energy, especially from Scoot Henderson, despite his play on the floor, was great. It was still great. It was still there. So during this game, I kind of felt like this team, they lost, but I felt like this was more of a game that could have been won, but the return of Shai, trying to get him back into gear, there were moments where it was probably like, you know what? Let's not push it. Let's just go ahead and coast and put on the bench.
I mean, at the end of the day, Shaden Sharp played basketball for the Blazers, so this was a win.
Yes.
The Spurs shot way above their head. I don't think it really ever came down. I mean, they were at 59% midway through the third quarter, and they finished at nearly 54% for the game. They shot 41% from 3. And even though Portland wasn't terrible, the 3-pointers were the difference of the game.
Look, I was just going to say, before we have to go out and switch over to the other side here, the Spurs hit 8 threes in the third quarter. The Blazers hit 9 threes all game. Like,
That'll do it.
I don't want to reach around the corner and go drag the horse around and beat it up again. It's a math problem. And if they can't keep up in the 3-point line, this is what's going to happen all season.
You can't beat a horse on KC. Maybe charge, but this is
true.
not.
That's why I'm waiting
That's a
before
problem.
we switch over.
Well, we're about to go over there. Until then, Danny and Joe are going to shoot some baskets on the new hoop we got on the Rip City TV network. Till then, we'll see you in the next probably couple of seconds right here. Rip City Wrap Up, episode 10. Stay tuned. And there we go. See? Told you. It was a quick train. It was just a quick
We
change.
did it? Oh, my God.
It's already that like that. Listen, we weren't
Sorry,
gonna
folks. I drink water sometimes. I hope that wasn't distracting for you.
I doubt it was, but it's a nice canister. You got
Thank
a lot
you.
of memorabilia. It seems like it's been through a lot.
And it's seen some things. Actually, that water bottle's only like 15 months old. I just drop it a lot. You know when you have a thing
Oh, my
that you
God.
know you can drop, you drop it a lot, but if it was like a coffee or a smoothie, you wouldn't drop it?
Heaven forbid you ever have a baby.
Gosh, what about a phone? Do you drop your phone?
Well, that's why I have this case. To
that
protect
doesn't-
it.
Okay, but that doesn't mean you drop it purposely.
Well, I'm not Jason Kelsey. I'm not throwing phones in the ground for goodness sakes. But
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, it falls out of my hands. So I'm not perfect, Tyree. I'm just a guy up here talking about the Blazers.
All right, well,
that's it.
you know what? Fair enough. Let's talk about some guys that were dropping some things on the court. 21 points out of Jeremy Grant and DeAndre Ayton. They combined actually for 42. It was different. We're usually talking about how Jeremy Grant and Anthony Simons were leading the charge. You need those two guys to basically lead if you're going to end up winning the game, but it wasn't like that, and the game was still close. Guys, thoughts?
Yeah, I think you saw even more, like, you're going to expect Jeremy Grant to kind of come full circle on this. And on my Patreon over the last couple of days, I kind of dove into the identity of the Portland Trailblazers.
Plug it.
Look, patreon.com/Jack Ramsey.
There you go.
There you go. But one of the things that I was highlighting was that the identity of this team right now is that they live and die in the paint on both sides of the floor. Donovan Clingan was coming into tonight's game was the second most effective rim protector, paint protector in the entire league. He was allowing the second lowest field goal percentage behind Victor Wembanyama. Even in limited opportunities, it was Wemby, Donovan Clingan, Chet Holmgren, which again that tracks. It all makes sense. But the Blazers were also a team that drove to and got into the paint more than anybody. But the problem was they had the lowest effective field goal percentage in the league. That's a glass half full kind of situation because they've been so poor. Ant, Scoot, Denny, Chris, and honestly, the biggest offender has been Jeremy. Coming into tonight, I believe he was 33% in the paint, which is uncharacteristic for him. What that basically tells you is that they can, once they kind of hit their groove, they'll start figuring out it'll become something they can rely on where, yes, you're going to need to generate the threes more, but if you have this a more stable baseline of effectiveness in the paint, then it can open some things up and might cause defenses to kind of collapse down. I thought tonight what you saw, not from Jeremy or DA or Ant, it was Danny Avdia. I think Denny ended up having a really good game despite only taking 5 shots. You look at his box score tonight: 9 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Like you just
rock solid.
Rock solid. And I saw people say, "I wish Denny was shooting more, converting more." But what he was doing was getting guys involved, grabbing rebounds and triggering the offense. And even if he wasn't getting the assist, he was getting the hockey assist. There was one play where he drove the lane, just stops, fires back to DA, who's right at 15 feet, takes a mid-range pull-up. He rims it out, but Denny taps it out, reset, DA gets the ball back, takes a floater and hit it. Denny doesn't get the credit for the assist, but he's setting the offense up and then triggering the offensive rebound that ultimately ends up leading to another good look.
Don't you think, I mean, Denny specifically, don't you think he's the kind of player who is going to be more opportunistic rather than, hey, this guy needs to get X amount of shots a game no matter what, like a Jeremy Grant, like an Anthony Simons? He's not that kind of basketball player. Exactly.
In talking to him, he is a guy, he wants to play make more than he wants to score.
Sure.
He's the guy that you probably have to convince to take more shots. For me, again, the rim finishing, the paint finishing, I think that's going to come around. I'm not worried about that one bit. That has been consistent through his career. The outlier is the three-point shooting, which last year 37%. Otherwise, he's been roughly a 31% three-point shooter. He's got to find some level of stability there. It can't be 31. If it's not 37, he's got to get to like 35%. But once he starts finding his rim finishing, that is going to open stuff up for everybody else, particularly when he starts collapsing defenses because he's finishing at the rim so well. Then he starts spraying out. And if you've got Shaden Sharp on the floor, which is another shooter, if you've got Sharp on the floor, you've got Ant on the floor, you've got Jeremy on the floor. If DeAndre Ayton is taking threes, if Donovan Clingan's taking, you just kind of go down the list of guys, and now those three-point looks that maybe you weren't hitting or maybe weren't get as good a looks for, they're a little bit more open.
And I think you also just working, Shay's going to have to end up working with Denny a little bit more just because he's a new teammate and Shay hasn't touched the court since the summer, essentially. We actually got a tweet up from our tag board talking about Shaden Sharp a little bit. When we get a second, let's bring that up. This is coming from Rob Blaze, adding Danny right here. I'm feeling like we're all firmly reminded tonight about who has the highest ceiling on this roster. And it's not even close. Shaden didn't seem to have any rust to shake off and looked as smooth as ever. I'm excited to see more. Hashtag RC wrap up. Please continue using the hashtag to join our conversation about Shaden Sharp in this game.
I mean, this is exactly right. It's always been the conversation around Shay is we saw glimpses of it his rookie season. We saw more of it last year. And coming into this year, one of the biggest storylines for the Blazers is what is Shaden Sharp? We know the ceiling is incredibly high. We know the athleticism is there. The decision-making, the defense, the passing, basically everything you want to build an NBA team around, Shaden Sharp has shown pieces of it. And we just don't know what he can possibly be. And so, of course, you're going to be most excited about that player. This isn't a shot at anybody, but there are a lot of players on this team that you know what they are. The veterans are what they are, good, bad, or indifferent. Shaden Sharp is still that mystery box that Mario is punching. What is in there? Is it a star? We think it is.
The thing about Shay is, what was his first shot tonight? That mid-range pull-up. That is a star shot. And I'm not just saying that in the sense of like getting to the mid-range. It was getting to the mid-range, the comfort, the willingness, the acceptance of taking that shot, because as much as you want to be a rim and three team, that's the analytics. Oh, look at that. It's even on my shirt.
Let me get one of them.
It's the
that means
thing.
he knows it.
It's true. Even beyond that, that is a shot that you have to take and make as a star of a team, because sometimes you're not going to be able to generate looks at the rim because teams are looking to take that way. Sometimes they're going to run you off the three-point line, and sometimes you have to take and make that shot. And I think the flavor that you got from that shot, and you know me very well on this and what I'm about to say.
Most things.
It's Brandon Roy-esque.
Yeah.
It's the ability to glide into that
fluidity.
shot and look so smooth and so natural, and everything about that. It ups the level of attraction. We were talking about it tonight, the difference between liking an Ant Edwards or a Jason Tatum or pick your star that's in the league right now. And the thing about a guy like Ant Edwards, the reason I think she's so captivating, which we'll see him 3 times in the next 4 games, is that he does look like Michael Jordan. The footwork, the pose, his fadeaway, everything.
The panache.
Everything is beautiful, and it has this aesthetically pleasing set to it. You watch Jason Tatum take a jumper, and you want to grab a trash can and puke.
Well, it's like the Dame thing. Dame dunked with shooting threes. Like when he knocked down a three and it ripped the net
From 30 feet.
It was like a tomahawk dunk from Michael Jordan. Like it had that same feel to it.
It's that panache that him and Steph are the only guys in the league who had that. Trae Young can take and make as many threes as Dame, but nobody cares because he does the little Trae shiver, and all you want to do is you look like a child. What are we doing?
I like Trae.
Give it to him on Trae.
Like
Come
Trae.
on, get him.
I like Trae. He's New York's biggest enemy. I love him.
I mean,
I think it's fun. It's a fun bit that
It is.
he is against New York.
But
it's perfect.
He's a villain. But that kind of goes to my point of for some people they like it, others they don't. Where you look at a guy like Ant Edwards, he has this level, and I think Shaden Sharp is the exact same thing. Where yes, the game is transcendent or potentially transcendent with being able to score at all three levels. Shaden's got a 46, 47-inch vertical, insane leaping ability. I'll never forget. I remember Anthony Simons telling me when Shaden was a rookie. He goes, "I'm not the best athlete on the team." He goes, "It's not close." He goes, "You got to see this guy." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I need 3 or 4 steps to gather and dunk, for me to really elevate." If you remember when the Ants video went viral, when they went and had the practice, it was his second year or third year in the league, and all of his teammates didn't know he could do that. Myers Leonard was losing his mind. Dame was like, "What on earth? You can jump like that? Why have we never seen this before?" Shaden got there, and immediately, I remember Ant saying something along the lines of, "He can do this in a phone booth. He doesn't need to take a step. He doesn't need you give him one step and he's up there." And so he has that upper level athleticism. He's got the fluidity to the game. He can score at all 3 levels. And tonight, even though, again, we're talking about a guy who had 13 points on 6 of 9 shooting. It wasn't like he went for 50.
This is what people want to hear about, though. This is the story. This is the A block, B block, C block tonight. He is the story coming out
because he hasn't played in over 10 months, and he's so important to what's next for them. You see what the organization saw when they drafted him with the potential. And I think you looked at tonight, he did everything he did without needing the ball.
Yeah.
It wasn't hezzy, tween, pull back, reset, rescreen. It was work as a cutter, work as a catch and shoot guy, work as a secondary transition trail shooter. He was a spot guy. And I think, to me, it's harder to find that guy, a star level talent who doesn't need the ball, than it is to find a star-level talent with the ball.
Especially one as young as he is, right? Because you assume that when someone comes in a league, they do it because they ball dominate, they're very, very comfortable running the show, making a lot of shots, distributing, basically being the person who does everything on the floor.
It's the heliocentric stuff.
Exactly.
You're the sun that everything revolves around.
But Shai can just sort of float as a moon out there.
He does.
Now, the pushback to that is sometimes he can float too much.
Sure.
And that's the path that he has to walk, is that you want to see him, and I think the most important rep for him tonight from a production standpoint was that pick and roll of Tumani Kamara. When two comes up, sets that screen, Shai takes the defense hedges up, Shai takes a step back, gives a look off, one-handed, right-handed, live dribble on a rope. It's not hyperbole. It's the best pass of Shaden Sharp's career. It was I've charted literally every single one of his pick and rolls with DeAndre Ayton last year as he was taking more control of the offense. That was his best pass as a pro. That was incredible. That was inch-perfect timing. He led the defense the right way. He opened up his hips, put it on. It was everything about it was yes, that is the thing that you want to see.
So there's all the basketball stuff, which is obviously very, very important in terms of being one of these superstars that you talk about. But we talked about it in the office a little bit, sort of the cult of personality, right? With Ant Edwards or Kobe or Melo, to a certain degree, a big degree, especially in New York. The thing about Shai, which I think this town is already embracing, obviously the talent, the whole idea that he could be a multiple-time All-Star, who knows if that's even the ceiling for him. He plays and conducts himself in such a genuine manner, and you feel that on the court, coming through the TV, when you're at the Moda Center. You can tell who that dude is by the way he plays basketball, and that is something that Portland embraces because we are a one-town team, and so we obsess over the star and the G League guys equally. This is what we do. We're nuts, aren't we, folks?
Listen,
and
that's good.
If you have someone like a Shaden Sharp who is able to do all the basketball things, which is obviously number one, but if you can capture the hearts and minds of the city, which he has done that to already, boy, you're setting yourself up to be a hero in this city.
I'll say this before we get to the tag board with another tweet about Shaden Sharp. When I came over, and it's good I'm able to give this perspective. I'm going to give this to the Blazer community. Coming over from, the Miami Heat to here, you hear over in that organization and just that town about Jimmy Butler or Tyler Hero or whatever, those stars. And when you hear them talk about it, it's more of so in a set of what are they going to do this year? And if it's not, then we don't care about them. There's a it's a very type of different culture around there.
It's militaristic.
Exactly.
Short-term
the
mindset.
Heat culture.
The Heat culture.
Yeah.
If you aren't producing exactly what us Heat fans want, we're not a fan of that. But when I came over here and I got to look at the roster, because this is a market that doesn't get the amount of national games that you'll give to the Miami Heat, despite them not being as great. You don't get to see these type of guys, which is something that the Blazer organization always tries to promote their young guys, because they got good ones and they got a lot of great young talent. And when I came over and I got a chance to really see Shaden in person, meet him, and then just watch him play, I understand the Blazer community rallying around him. And it's not a rally like, hey, what are you going to do for us? And then we're just going to put you to the side. It's like, we know what's going on. We understand that you got to get back on the court. We're going to be super excited to see you when you get here.
Let us love you.
And
let us love you.
They really want to love these players.
Yes.
And it's a shout out to the community. It is truly one of the best, if not the best, NBA community fan bases I've ever seen or get a chance to be a part of. So let's go ahead and bring up that tag board to talk with our awesome community using that hashtag RC wrap up. He's adding our boy Danny Marang. Feels like the process is processing. Hey, he watched one of our shows. Shay looks like everyone has been raving about.
Yeah, I think that's the
It's
thing.
still plan A. We're exactly where we want to be 9 games in. This is exactly what we want.
I think so. I
Look,
agree.
I've got an ongoing bit on Twitter of after every game, here's your stock watch.
Yeah.
Game number 9. Here's what happened. They won or they lost. Here's where they stand in the Western Conference. Here's where they stand in the league. Because right now, that's ultimately the thing that matters the most in the sense of chasing the ping pong balls. But I say that sarcastically because the other development also matters. The most important thing is that they find a star. That is the single most important thing for this organization right now. Without that building block, it sounds awful to say it like this, that it doesn't matter.
What doesn't matter?
That what they're doing. If you don't have that, you're lost. If you don't have that star. And I've seen some people say, well, why can't you develop at the same time? Because those guys won't be here if they're not the guys that matter in the long term. They'll be somewhere else.
Well, if you run through the contenders, like real, true blue contenders in the NBA, we'll even expand it out to the Final Four for the last decade. How many of those teams didn't have a star? That many.
Yeah.
Exactly 0.
And you need at least 2, more likely 3.
And Portland was one of those teams that got there with just 1. Sorry, CJ wasn't a star.
No.
He's a great player, great scorer.
And you had a lot of things kind of go your way. But, I mean, let's be honest, the best team that Dame ever had here featured him and another star in LaMarcus Aldridge. And if they can find something in Shaden Sharp, and they've got something in Donovan Clingan, and they've got something in Tumani Kamara, and they've got something in Denny, like you just kind of go down the list of guys.
Groups.
If you've got 1 second star, let's say Shaden's ceiling is more. Let's say it's like Jalen Williams for the Oklahoma City Thunder, where like if that's your number 2, you're in a really good spot.
You're in good
that's
shape.
a really good young player, right? So if he's that, and I'm not saying that that's his ceiling. I'm just saying like it's hard.
We can't even see it, Danny.
Yeah.
Where is the Shaden Sharp ceiling? We
Unless
can't
your
see
name
it.
is Victor Wembanyama.
That's a gift.
Unless your name is LeBron James, I'm not going to say that your ceiling is first team All NBA.
Sure.
It's just it's not
too. It's unfair.
It's unfair.
It's
to
unfair
guys.
to do to somebody.
Luka,
Yeah.
like you're a guy that came over as a EuroLeague MVP at 17 years old. Like that's different, right? So with Shaden Sharp, I'm sitting there going, if the highest end possibility of him is being your second star, that's a really good outcome. Like that's what you're hoping for, right?
You need a Robin.
Yes,
You do. That's part of the equation.
And if your supporting cast is Ryan Rupert and Donovan Clingan and Denny Avdia and Tumani Kamara, all of these interchangeable look at we just watched this Oklahoma City Thunder team come in here and play 5 out with a bunch of toolsy, wingy, rangy, they're line changing 12 guys, right? And you're looking at them and they're all young.
They don't have Hardenstein yet.
It's
spooky down there what they're doing.
And so you're just looking at everything that the Blazers are doing right now. Yes, Shaden matters, but they still need to lose the requisite games necessary to go, whether it's capture the flag or go get Ace Bailey or Dylan Harper, whatever it ends up being. They still need to inject that talent.
You know, I love this conversation about Shay. We've been talking about it a little bit. Let's go to the community one more time to see exactly what they're talking about on the tag board. Hashtag Rip City. I need to zoom in a little bit to see exactly. Okay, that's what it's saying. Jesus Christ is Shaden Sharp.
It's the Bourne identity.
Oh yeah, it's David Strahathan.
Yeah.
Okay, well I haven't seen the Bourne
It's
movie.
basically the Bourne movies. All of a sudden he pops up on this camera.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, it's Jason Bourne. But no, it's oh my God, it's Shaden Sharp. And that's
exactly right.
yeah. Because
terrifying.
all of a sudden it's a guy you think is dead. You're not accounting for.
Mm-hmm.
He's disappeared, and now all of a sudden Shaden Sharp shows up, and you go, oh my God, it's him.
You know, I feel like that's a great way. I'm gonna let you say something, but I feel like that's really good because when they announced that he was coming back tonight, I was like, huh?
It kind of came out of nowhere.
And low-key did.
That he
Not for
changed
him,
on
but
the
yeah.
injury report, and then that he was available. Available, the best word in the city of Portland right now. The fact that Shay could come back. The flip side of Shaden Sharp, and this is something that we talked about a few games back, is, hey, is DB Hooper going to get some more playing time because
nickname.
of his crazy fourth quarters? And he did play some meaningful minutes tonight. Shay comes back. We try to figure out who the odd man out is, and that could change on a nightly basis. But tonight, it was Roops.
It was.
He had the 1 7-minute shift. I mean,
Yeah.
even more. That's Chris Murray.
Yeah.
Chris Murray gets the white flag minute 18 along with Jabari Walker and Duop Reith. And that's just when you've got Robert Williams, you've got Shaden Sharp. Like if you're trying to work those guys in, you gave Delano Banton 16 minutes tonight. Why? Because he earned it. That's why.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he went 1 of 8 tonight. And maybe Chauncey Billups did find that he really is like, he has magical powers to only be productive in the fourth
I
quarter.
think we have to try it tomorrow,
Like-
especially because it's the end of a road trip. Guys are going to be tired. It's a back-to-back. It's probably a schedule loss against a tough opponent in their building. And I think we need to see it out, if only because Chauncey could take credit for inventing something
a literal basketball closer.
in basketball that we haven't seen before. He could, that could be his calling card. Like, it's a really interesting notion, and it worked twice. Changed it up a little bit tonight, obviously, because he had the good games, and you want to get him in there when you have a longer opportunity to see what he can do in the game. But maybe tomorrow, maybe it's Mo Rivera coming out of the pen.
Minnesota Timberwolves on the road tomorrow. Before we get to more on that stuff, Joe, what you got from our awesome and new sponsor, Dick Hanna Subaru?
Did you hear that Dick Hanna Subaru is giving out the Mount Hood Fusion passes?
No way.
Yeah, you get
For real.
Tyree, you get 2 passes, plus every new Subaru comes with a lifetime, your whole life, powertrain warranty.
They really do believe in nice over there, huh?
And it's a perfect time to grab a Subaru and hit the slopes this winter.
You know,
I don't ski.
I
That's
was saying,
wait,
are,
what?
are you kayaking?
Is this,
That doesn't
wait,
look
it's
like skiing.
There you go.
There it is.
Is that how you never skied?
No, man. I inner tube. Now that's a fun time.
Is
You want to
it?
have a fun time in Mount Hood? Bust out the inner tube. Yeah, of course it's fun. You
But
don't need to mess around with the snowboarders and the skiers. Get the inner tube going, baby.
Joe, where are you born? Where were you born?
I was born in Connecticut. We've established
Do they,
that.
Exactly,
do they ski
right?
there?
In Connecticut?
Yeah.
There are mountains on the East
Yeah,
Coast.
Okay, I know.
How have you never skied before?
That's what I'm
Sorry
trying
that I don't live the life of luxury that you guys do.
Is it
Going
luxury?
to your private chalets, skiing and snowboarding all around the world. I'm just a working class guy, you know? Put my shoes on one at a time.
I came from Florida. We didn't ski. We didn't ski over there. I didn't do that. I got to do that here. It's on my bucket list this time. I didn't get a chance last year, but this time.
Well, Subaru can help.
This is-
Great in the snow.
okay. All right. Yep. But fair enough. Fair enough. Let's go ahead and talk a little Trim BA, my friend. It's about time. Let's go a little bit of Trim BA.
BA.
All right. Listen.
Deep dives into shallow topics. Let's go. The Pope?
Listen.
We're starting with the Pope?
Listen.
His Eminence?
I think we are going to go ahead and we're going to bring up the Blazer box to see a little bit of what's going on with Trend BA, okay? This is coming from Pope Francis. We cannot become #Saints, the New Orleans football Saints,
That's
right?
Big fan.
With a frown. We must have joyful hearts that remain open to hope. So the funny thing
That's right.
is that, and I actually did not notice, my friends, he is not talking about the New Orleans football Saints. He just happens to at them every time he's been doing this. And Joe, how long has he been doing this?
I mean, it's been going on for at least a couple weeks now. There's something like a dozen or so tweets from the official Pope Francis account using #Saints. And it's really funny because everyone just replies with like, "What do you think about the Vikings?
Yeah.
Like, are you sure? Was it the right move to fire Dennis Allen?" Everyone's replying.
I love
with
the
real
guerrilla marketing from the Catholics.
It's amazing because obviously, look, the Pope has 17 million followers. So whomever is tweeting from Pope Francis's account, I don't think he's like, look at that, trend BA.
Yeah.
I don't think he's just like, tweeting this thing out. He's got someone doing it for him, and they know what they're doing because this is getting engagement.
Like,
He's on the can tweeting.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
That's what I really want to know. What if the Pope starts tweeting about the Blazers? Like, what does the Pope tweet? What does the Pope tweet about the Blazers?
Shaden Sharp flies with angels.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
It's actually a great one. That's a great one.
It's me. I'm running the Pope Francis Twitter account.
Are you?
I got you all. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's my day job.
All right. Well,
I would have gone with maybe Shaden Sharp baptized. Victor
there you
Wanyama
go.
at the rim.
It's not bad.
There's plenty of religious puns we can make here. Come on.
there's a lot. I'll say this, Pope. Thank you, but the Saints, we still suck. We're not good. We lost our head coach. We're still figuring.
You got the
things out.
Pope on your side. You still can't win a game.
Hey, but we still can't win.
Won a game since mid-September.
We really do need to ask the Pope about Victor Wembanyama though.
Yeah.
We should.
Like that's because Victor Wembanyama tonight was, and every time you see him, you what did you say when you saw Wemby on TV tonight? When does he come to Portland? End of the year? Yeah, I'll be there for that.
Yeah. He's going to be here in April, folks. So if you want to see him in person, which you do, get tickets to that game.
Dude, he is a monster.
It's massive.
Look, Blazers Broadcasting, shout out Brooke Olsendam, the best in the business. She interviewed Donovan Clingan before the game, right? What's it like playing, going up against Victor Wembanyama? And I loved DC's answer of, I've never played against somebody bigger than me. And it's funny because you and I were talking leading into this game, like you were like, how tall is Victor? And it says he's 7'3". I'm like, no, he's 7'5". And Donovan Clingan tonight, he's like, yeah, I think he's listed at 7'3". He's like, I'm 7'3".
Why would they lie about that?
I don't.
What is the purpose of doing that?
Look,
I
have
know when like
asked
you're
players-
Dame and you're like 6 foot and you say you're 6'3".
Dame's 6'2".
Okay.
I'll give him that.
Good for him.
But yeah, the Kevin Garnett thing, LaMarcus Aldridge, like those guys, they didn't say they were 7 foot because if you're 7 foot, you weren't allowed to handle the ball, and they wanted to be able to handle
There's
the ball
a
a little bit.
stigma associated
Yeah, it's
with
Kevin
it.
Durant. Like
Yeah.
I'm 6'9". Like no, you're not, Katie. You're 7 foot tall. Shut up. Like but like I've been next to Donovan Clingan, and he is enormous. I was at Summer League last year when Wemby first made his debut. And it was like, again, Alien is the most befitting nickname in the NBA. He is otherworldly. Like, shout out Sean Eichen, who took a picture with me with Boban last year in the media room. So we're sitting there watching the 76ers play, and Boban's like, we're both kind of like leaned in watching the game. And Boban's 7'3", 7'2", just massive, massive human. And I just looked like this little speck next to him. And it's like, the frame of reference is so ridiculous because we're standing at the same spot, basically right next to each other, and it looks like we're different species. And Victor Wembanyama is so big, he made DeAndre Ayton look small. They're on the box together at the free throw line. DeAndre Ayton is every bit of 7 foot tall. 7 foot tall, probably 265 pounds. DA is a big, big dude. He looks childish. I mean, on the broadcast, you had Jeremy Grant wrestling with him. JG's 6'9".
He's a big man.
And he looks. There's no frame of reference for that, and I don't know what to do with it.
Well, what was so funny about the game tonight is I think a lot of the narrative around the Spurs is, all right, obviously they're going to win the Victor minutes, but how do we compete when he's off the floor? But if you look at the game tonight, the Spurs did very well with Victor off the floor.
They did.
It's not like, I mean, Vic did what he does, but he was only 4 of 13 from the field.
He had the lowest plus minus of the team.
Which is really, really interesting because you assume that, I mean, if you were to go into tonight and say he was going to have the lowest plus minus in the team, you would assume Portland wins by double digits. But everybody around him, and especially the second unit, they were really able to run. And Danny, you made a good point. Our old pal, Zach Collins, had a very, very good night.
Shot the cover off the ball.
And if Zach didn't have a good night, this is a close game. But Zach did what he needed to when Vic was off the floor.
6 to 7.
And that second unit was able to extend the lead every time, and they were able to hold on. And Vic was obviously causing havoc other places besides putting the ball in the hoop. And the Spurs were able to get it done, win by 13.
Zach Collins went full DB Hooper. He had 14 points in 15 minutes. Like
So annoying. By the way, love Zach. Really annoying to see that guy hit threes. Because, my God, It would
Finally.
have been great to have seen that when you were in Portland. It's very frustrating to see a big who is here knock down threes.
Yeah, no, and I think that's the big thing is
It's a bummer.
this Spurs team tonight had 8 players in double figures. And you've got Chris Paul, who's point guard. You know, he will get you into your offense. He will get you shots. He will get you a professionally run offense. And he's going to allow Victor Wanyama to do everything he needs to do. And then you've got professional basketball player Harrison Barnes.
Yeah.
Who acts as a stabilizing
It's nice to have
force.
on your team.
But if you look at their team tonight, go up and down the assist column. Blake Wesley, 8 assists. Steph Castle, 6 assists. Chris Paul, 6 assists. Branham, 3. Collins, 3. Keldon Johnson, 3. They had 35 assists on 44 makes. And it wasn't like it was this thing where it was like peak Warriors basketball where it's just everyone's
The
a
ball's
creator.
humming
Just
and-
bing,
yeah.
bing, 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 bing. It was just a bunch of secondary creators, guys who that they have. And then I think the Blazers are trying to head down this path of multiple guys on the floor who can all dribble, pass, shoot. And you make that extra pass. And the Blazers, I thought tonight, probably had 10, 15 possessions of, ooh, that ball movement's pretty. You know, we saw it ping inside, outside, swing, swing, good look. The difference was tonight when the Spurs did that, they hit those threes.
Yes, and when Portland was missing their threes, it led to easy opportunities on the other end, and Portland's transition defense isn't where you want it.
Yeah, and I mean, Vic was also 2 of 6 from the 3-point line. But when it was funny because when Joe saw him and he came into the office and saw him shoot a 3, he's like, oh my goodness. And I felt that way seeing Vic shoot threes all night tonight.
A 7'5" guy pulling up from 30 feet. There's nothing you
It's
can.
impossible.
You can't contest it. You can't bother it. You can't.
It's KD plus a half foot.
Yeah, and
Good luck.
There's no like I remember, LaMarcus Aldridge got a turnaround fadeaway blocked by Anthony Davis, and it was like somebody drew blood on God. I was like, that's the most unblockable because LaMarcus used to release that thing leaning way back with this ridiculous wingspan. At tip of the fingers, as far elevated as you could, and young New Orleans Pelicans Anthony Davis gets a piece of it, and I went, oh my, Victor Wembanyama, you can't get to him, and he can get to you wherever you are, and you could see it tonight, where it makes the Shaden Sharp finish even more spectacular.
It does, but there was the reason I laughed is because there was a play that I remember where Scoot had Shaden on the weak side, and Victor was on his back, and Victor kind of gave up. And Scoot went to the hole, even though throwing it probably would have been the more appropriate play. But even though Vic kind of gave up, because the wingspan is so enormous, you never really feel like you're out of reach. And so I think he was nervous to try to give the ball to anybody else in that moment. And it's the Victor effect.
Yeah.
There's a gravity around it.
They call it the hell nah. Because you see
hell
Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah.
No, seriously, it's a real thing.
It's going to be a problem.
And it's you can't even quantify it. Because and the only way you can really do it is if you see it on video or if you use like a live graphic. And like this is going to sound super nerdy. I'm sorry, but if you think it like an amoeba and how it moves, if you use some sort of stimulus that draws it out.
What is that?
Like a bacteria.
Oh, okay.
Like an amoeba. Like
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know.
I'm going science class, single cell organism, I believe.
Yeah.
But if you use some sort of stimulus that either makes it go forward or backwards, you use basically the force of, if this is Victor Wembanyama, if you go towards it, you just turn back around because it's almost like two same polarity magnets.
Okay, there we go.
Pushing away from each other, but it's because this one's stronger. You start to drive and you start looking at him, and then it turns into, oh, hell no. But that doesn't go down as a block shot. It doesn't go down as a steal. But the number of times, and this isn't just the Blazers, this is everybody in the NBA.
Of course.
I've talked to so many players that have gone up against him, and you're like, you think he can't get there. He can. If you think he can't, you're wrong. That's the mindset you have to have. So you have to do what Shaden did tonight. You have to go up incredibly high off the glass, and you have to alter your shot. You have to get into his chest.
10 out of 10 difficulty just to finish.
Just to
above
finish a
that guy.
layup.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like he's such a unique player, not only defensively, but offensively. If you want to bother his shot, you better get it down here. Because once it's up here,
Good night.
you're not doing anything with it.
Can we I want to put this into Blazers perspective. Can you tell that story of Victor and how he's been causing trauma for our Blazers? Remember that?
Yeah, no, I talked to Anthony Simons and Jeremy Grant both after they played Victor for the first time when they got back from their road trip. And it ended up going in Vic's highlight reel. Anthony Simons blows by Victor Wembanyama at half court last year, and he's going to the rim, and Vic comes out of nowhere and just erases the shot. I mean, it was violent. And I talked to Ant. He goes, I got by him. I didn't think there was a chance anywhere that I had to worry about him because I passed him at half court, and he just pinned it, just absolutely slapped it off the glass. And it was a shot. Again, these are NBA players, top of the class, like the 0.1% of basketball players on the planet, and they're saying this dude is that different. Jeremy Grant said the same thing. I was like, what'd you think of me? He just threw his shoulders up.
What are you going to say?
Like, what am I supposed to do with that? Because, again, Jeremy's in the same vein of LaMarcus. Think about Jeremy's release point. If Jeremy Grant is worried about getting his shot blocked, how many times in his adult life do you think he's been like,
sure,
this guy can get to the shot? Probably never. Like Donovan Clingan tonight. I've never played against somebody bigger than me.
Well, I think it's become in vogue to say in the NBA that a superstar player is a unicorn. But it feels a little disingenuous to call other players unicorns when you see Victor Wembanyama. It's such a different thing that you're seeing on an NBA court.
Yeah.
It's almost like a surreal visual experience. Like, yes, Manute Bol was very, very tall and
didn't move like that.
Did not move, though. You're seeing the size of a Manute Bol and the athleticism of a Kevin Durant and the decision-making of like an all-star point guard, all of it wrapped into one. The one play that he had where I think he started at the three-point line, takes one dribble, two steps,
curl.
and it was like a George Gervin
finger roll, it comes out.
He missed it, but he doesn't usually miss that shot. But it looked really easy, and he got around three players.
In 2 steps.
In 2 steps. I've never seen anything like it, and I think surreal is the best word to use, because when I watch him play basketball, my brain doesn't really compute what I'm seeing.
No.
Because it just looks so much different. And there was a low shot tonight after a free throw where Vic was standing close to DeAndre Ayton. And you could really see from a perspective of down on the floor, when you see those guys next to each other and the camera's up high, it's like, all right, well, Vic's, a few inches bigger than that guy. He's bigger, certainly. But when you're at the floor level, it almost looks like he's 7, 8 inches taller than him.
I mean, he's 5 inches taller.
It is
it's a lot.
A very unsettling thing to see, because you see DA so often and you see him just be as big as anybody out there, and you see Vic, and it's just such a different animal. And we talk about the ceiling for Shaden Sharp, the ceiling for Victor Wembanyama.
He's the best player on the planet.
That's best player on the planet for a long time and dominating the Olympics, honestly. Like that, I think that's a part of it as well.
Yeah, and the best way to stop him, bring back the bad boys Pistons.
Just knock him down?
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
He had a bad game tonight because
he
shot poorly. You're talking about a guy that had 12 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals, 3 blocks. And he had a bad game. Like, you're talking about a guy that missed a 5x5 by a steal and 2 blocks.
It's a pretty typical night, though.
Like that's how.
But a higher shooting percentage.
That's how insane his floor is, and it's just. I think it was a great test for this Trailblazers team because he does present so many unique challenges, and for a guy like Shaden Sharp to be successful against him, and for Donovan Clingan to have a different hurdle to kind of overcome. He's now in the last couple games had to face Zion Williamson, Chet Holmgren, and Victor Wembanyama. For everybody who's like, I want to see Donovan Clingan play more, he's still trying to figure out how to defend the paint with relative ease, while also having to take on literal unicorns in basketball. Like, when you're talking about those kind of players, Chet, Zion, Wemby, those are the one-of-ones.
That's what comes with playing on the Western Conference, though. I mean, you look at the dumpster fire, that's the Eastern Conference. What, a 3-5 team is like in the 6th seed right now?
Did you see the stat that I had earlier tonight?
No.
So only 4 teams in the Eastern Conference have a positive net rating. In the West, 10. Okay?
Yeah, the West is strong.
In the interconference matchups, the West is 26-10 against the East. It's not even close.
Sounds right.
It is an absolute evisceration, a bloodbath, whatever hyperbole, whatever you want to use. The West is wildly dominant over the East.
I did think about this. If they were the Blazers of Portland, Maine, as opposed to Portland, Oregon, and they played in the Eastern Conference,
they'd be above 500.
It might be tough to get a lottery pick.
Yeah.
I think there's too much talent.
Portland, Maine for a sec?
There's too much. It's a beautiful city in the summer right here.
Maine's a beautiful state.
It is crazy to think there's such a disparity in the conferences that if you just took this exact roster and put it with an Eastern Conference schedule, it's probably a 500 ball club.
I don't like the term bloodbath, but you know what? When we get to our Trend BA topic, it's gonna make sense. But Joe, tell us what we got next using your awesome announcer, Portland Pickles voice.
Well, it is Portland Timber season's over, so I'm going to start with some bad news. But Soccer City USA still has the Portland Thorns to root for and a new podcast to love. Unfiltered Soccer featuring 2 U.S. soccer legends premieres November 12th. Landon Donovan, Tim Howard give you the inside scoop from the MLS to the Premier League. Watch on YouTube or listen wherever you get podcasts. It's time for TrendBA.
Let's talk a little TrendBA action, folks. We're going to bring up the Blazer box when we get a second here on TrendBA.
Graphic.
Listen, I want to talk a little bit about this, okay? So, perfect example. When the Lakers lost to the Memphis Grizzlies last night, a reporter actually asked at another station, said, what is it about this Lakers team, right? That basically gets them going. And Josh said, I don't like them. They knocked me out the playoffs. And then last year, they were talking crazy while I was in street clothes. Not tonight, though. And now we're going to get to the best part. Bring back hatred in the NBA. I'm begging. Coming from my boy, Danny Marang.
Look, it's no secret. I want to bring more hatred back in the NBA. I'm sick of the buddy stuff. I don't want everybody high-fiving after games. You can do that after a hard-fought series, but I want people to not
TMM,
like
too much money.
Yeah,
Why would anyone be upset? We're making too much money out here.
Look, if you want, we went, 6 games before we started talking about the ratings in the NBA?
Yeah.
Look, storylines sell, and hatred is the
rivalries
oldest and best story.
Lakers and Celtics don't hate each other. The fan bases might, but those 2 teams don't hate each other.
I asked my co-host today on the radio. I asked Yoshihara, quick, name the biggest rivalry in the NBA right now. Knicks, Sixers, maybe?
That's probably what I would say.
But you had to, number one, you had to hesitate. Number two, you ended it with like a question mark. And number three, it's not even like a regional one that we care about. Nobody cares about Lakers Celtics because nobody likes either of those teams. You need a villain and a hero. John Morant, I would say don't shoot the messenger, but maybe gun euphemisms aren't the best for him. But the idea of him being the villain here, lean into it.
Well, and we talked about Trae Young a little bit earlier with New York.
Trae Young.
That's great. That's what you want. You want to have a guy who is antagonistic.
Yes.
And New York is a fan base that you want to rile up because they're going to chirp back at you.
Yankee and Mets fans were chanting F Trae Young at Yankee and Mets games in the playoffs.
That's exactly what you're looking for.
Yes.
I don't know if we have a current great rivalry in the NBA. I don't know if we do.
The one you're hoping for is Chet and Wemby. You heard what Wemby said about Chet, right?
Yes.
I won't even say his name.
And that's great. But the Spurs stink. So they have to be good if that's going to be a rivalry.
You got to catch up to OKC for that to matter.
They're way behind right now.
It's a lot like when the Blazers and Lakers had a rivalry.
Yes.
They were both good. But when Blazers fans kind of kept that going as the Lakers were winning titles and the Blazers were stuck in the injured Brandon Roy, Greg Oden period.
Unrequited rivalries are a really sad place to be.
It's not. Think about what the NBA is right now. Doesn't it feel like that's where it's at?
For the most part.
You're going with historic ones, but they don't have any juice anymore.
What about maybe Minnesota and Memphis? Maybe Minnesota and Denver? Don't you think?
There's a little bit of juice there, but again,
right.
You're talking about 2 organizations in Denver and Minnesota. Minnesota has been historically the worst team in the NBA. Like that's not a hyperbole. That is factual. They had coming into last season before they had this great season. Their winning percentage as a franchise was under 40%. You've got to have.
It takes years of playoff series, like Knicks Heat. When you said rivalry, that's the first one that comes to mind.
Yep.
Jeff Van Gundy on Zoe's leg. Those were awesome. Riley, the game 5 where the ball's bouncing around on the rim. I still remember those games, even though I didn't like either team really, because it was must-see TV. And the Pacers versus the Knicks and Reggie Miller and Spike Lee
Locally,
and all of that.
Blazers Jazz. Remember
Blazers Jazz was
Karl
huge.
Malone busting open Brian Grant's eyebrow and then him coming out in the third quarter.
Yeah.
The roar of the Rose Garden just floods onto the court.
I'm getting goosebumps just saying that.
I remember that as a kid being in that arena.
It's a big
being
deal.
so loud that I had to. My dad is sitting where you are, and I had to cover my face or cup my hands and yell for him to hear me. That's the kind of rivalry that we used to have in the league, and it's been dead. And so, bring me the hatred, bring me the animosity. I'm not asking for dirty, cheap plays.
Actual violence. It's just
I'm okay with a little.
But not people
mild violence.
Not people getting hurt. If it's Shaq and Brad Miller, that's funny, and it's
also if Shaq had landed that.
Well, he
punch.
didn't, and that's why it's funny. Chris Dudley throwing the ball, hilarious.
Shaq absolutely bodying Chris Dudley and going over
Even
the top
funnier.
of him. But those again, bring. If there's one thing, speaking of Minnesota Timberwolves, who the Blazers are going to play 3 out of the next 4 games, Ant Edwards wants the smoke.
He does.
And that is something I do appreciate.
And I'm so attracted to him as a player because of that, because he has that. Trey's is a little more sharp elbows than I like.
Yeah.
There's just a little bit of a different vibe to it.
It's because he's 5'10" and his hairline's back here.
I mean, okay, that's maybe a small part of it, but it's just more catty. You know what I mean, Tyree? Like,
I do.
It feels a little bit different with Ant than it does with Trey, doesn't it?
But Trey is still the reason he's exciting. If you took away his 3-point game, then all right. Then we're not talking about.
I'm not saying he's not exciting.
Right.
His is more antagonistic in nature.
Yeah.
Do you remember the year when he became New York's villain?
Oh,
and
it was great.
All over social media, the TikToks, whatever it was. He was more so of just like playing good, and he had a little swag to him at the end of the games and stuff.
He made people care about Atlanta Hawks basketball, which is no small feat.
Yeah.
It's not. And I think when you look at a rivalry in 2024, obviously it's different than 2003 or whatever, but when you look at a rivalry in 2024, you look at superstars, who was the stars on the team. You got Anthony Edwards on Minnesota. He is a fun star. You got Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum on the Celtics. You also think about the storyline. Where is the team going to go? Anthony Edwards, this new Michael Jordan type guy. Is he going to bring the Timberwolves to their first championship? You know, there's a lot of things you got to kind of put into it that will make these rivalries better. So I guess the reason I said, Denver or Minnesota or even the Lakers and Denver was just because of the star power, the storylines. You've been knocking out the best player.
Well, Denver won, 16 straight games over the Lakers?
Yep.
Up until last year in the playoffs. And you can't have a rivalry if you're getting dog walked. The rivalry becomes very one-sided at that point.
It's got to work both ways.
Yeah, you got to have, and I think there was a budding rivalry between Denver and Portland. When you did have the give and take, because Portland takes it to Game 7, win on their floor, Nurk have a nice summer. You had some
The Nurk Jokic stuff was very, very real. So, for a handful of years, it was kind of there. And you had such the epic playoff series that you referenced. Yeah, that's going to build it up to a crescendo, but now that's
what
already
ended up happening, though,
it's gone.
You get to 21, and Portland gets the gentleman's sweep. Dame has no help in a game where he drops, 55? Nobody else shows up, and it's the rivalry ends.
That
with
was
a whimper.
brutal.
So do you, before we move on to another NBA topic, so do you think that Portland Blazers, is there a team right now that the rivalry is still hot, still fiery with?
Miami.
Or something new?
Well, I don't know. I would say
I like that.
the team that comes in the building that still draws the biggest reaction from the fans is the Lakers. There's no question.
There's a
different energy in the crowd when it's a Laker game. They could be 5-50, but if the purple and gold comes into the Moda Center, those people are going to freak out, and God love you for it. I will too.
I mean, it's fun. I know what they did. I know what they did back in the day to the Blazers. Listen, Brian Warner, awesome photog. He tells me all about it. The heart's breaking, the lob. I know.
I don't know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I
have
blank
no
that
recollection of that whatsoever.
Well, let's talk about a little bit of Lakers losing. How about that?
Oh, now you're talking.
All right, I knew you liked that.
Yeah.
NBA, baby, on the Blazer box. So yesterday, when the Lakers went against the Minnesota Grizzlies, and then they lost, LeBron actually did too small to Ja on one of the plays where he got 2 points. And then Ja did it after, and then that was also more of what he was just talking about in the post game, the talking mess. And this is awesome painting, awesome here by Jack Perkins right here. Listen, I think trash talking is great. I love the get small comments. I do wish, you know what? Scrap that. I agree with you. I agree. And but not in this sense. Not in the sense that there has to be hatred. There has to be
46 and 20 seconds.
I like
Okay,
it.
I'll
Three
be done
three minutes
with
left in the show. Someone agrees with Dan.
Oh my God. I can
It's been
agree.
84 years.
Why'd you? You're not. Relax. You ain't that old. You just got a little gray, but it's good gray. It's good gray. Embrace the salt.
The hair
Embrace
stayed
salt.
in place. Danny
It-
was
I-
afraid the hair was going to fall down.
It's starting to
Smooth
curl a little
slick.
bit.
But it looks fine.
Starting to curl a little
This
bit.
art is fabulous. Jack Perkins is a wonderful artist, and
Does
I know
awesome
it's
stuff.
I know it's LA related stuff, but he does some art to represent what happened in every Lakers game. And I started to follow him, and it was kind of a bummer when the Lakers started 3-0, but now that they've lost 4 or 5, it's really fun to see what he uses to represent the Lakers' ineptitude. I'm excited as soon as JJ starts to lose it a little bit more and more to see what he does with JJ Redick. It's going to be fun.
Oh my gosh. So, we'll see about that one. But I do enjoy this. I just think I'll say the NBA is missing a little aggression, just a tad bit. You get it from your guys, you get it from LeBron, you get it from the people on the starting five.
It's got to be. It's got
I
to be.
get it.
It's got to be the next generation.
I get it. If I was making $11 million a year to be the 8th or 9th man on an NBA roster, what would I be upset about? Why am I fighting anybody?
Why not?
Life is great. My family's taken care of. I'm in good health. I'm an NBA player. I'm not going to fight anybody. You guys fight
I'll
people.
never forget. Joel Prisbilla said he wasn't mad about getting technical fouls. He was more frustrated because his wife was going to give it to him because why am I sending a $1,500 check to the NBA? He's like, that's when I hear about it. He goes, I don't get technicals not because I don't want to, because I got to go home and I got to deal with the wrath. And it's like,
when you're balancing the checkbook, it's tough to cut those to the National Basketball Association.
but I tell you what, though, if there is going to be a team that's going to have some spice to it, it's going to be a team that the Blazers are playing next in the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think they do have a little
Good
bit
test.
of edge. Everybody has their feelings on Rudy Gobert. He gets under people's skin. There's no doubt about it. Which, everybody wants to laugh about Christian Brown absolutely baptizing him at the rim. The Timberwolves on a 17-4 run, and the Timberwolves won. And if you look at where the Denver Nuggets are right now versus where the Minnesota Timberwolves are right now,
Gobert's a great player, but
4-time Defensive Player of the Year, first ballot Hall of Famer.
what did you think? Did you guys see the Russell Westbrook video where a little, speaking of guys not being friends, a little fracas broke out? And
I'll just say-
Gobert was trying to step into somebody, and Russ just came at him like a linebacker, and Gobert backed up like 4 steps until someone else got in front of him, and then he started going after
Oh,
Russ.
so he pulled the
Fake tough guy
he
stuff.
pulled the Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, fake tough guy stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
No, Carmelo invented that. He slapped Channing Frye in the back of the head and backpedaled like
Pretend like you're in the mix.
Yeah, it was like, come on, man,
So
you
it's
can't
actually
do that.
time, and then
No, you
the
can't do that
enforcer gets
stuff.
in front, and then you act like a tough guy.
But also, Russell Westbrook does look like a maniacal killer, and if he's running
dude.
full speed at you like the Terminator, I get it.
Patrick Bateman on a basketball
Yeah,
court.
no, that
Very
is-
strong.
Like if you were casting somebody from the NBA for Patrick Bateman, it is Russell Westbrook, and then Keldon Johnson can slip in and be a stunt double.
Well, they're going to be seeing Rudy Gobert tomorrow at 6 p.m. when they take on the Minnesota Timberwolves on the road. And make sure you could tune in on K22, not 2. Joe, let me hear the...
Sure.
There we go, on Xfinity channel 1170. They're going to be tipping off at 6 p.m. It'll be episode 11 of the Rip City Wrap-Up. Listen, I'm very, very excited for that game. I think it's going to be fun just to see Shaden Sharp again back on the court.
Yes.
And also the anticipation to eventually get Robert Williams back
Let's
on the
see,
court.
Rob.
I think
Let's
if
go,
you're,
Rob.
if you're looking at an opportunity, I don't know if Shaden Sharp's going to play in a back-to-back. I think there's an idea that maybe they rest him unless he gets through the plane ride, because they're turning and burning. They're probably getting on the plane right now as we speak because they got to get out of town and get up to Minnesota. We'll see how Shaden feels. We'll see if they set him down or not. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I would probably lean towards them probably playing him. But if you're talking about a game where Rob can feel more comfortable and
This
stay
is
at
it.
home, this is the game. You've got Rudy Gobert, you've got Naz Reid, you've got Julius Randle. Play in the paint and be more comfortable against the bigs of your ilk.
All right. We'll see you on episode 11 of the Rip City Wrap-Up, sponsored by Dick Hannah Subaru. We appreciate you guys. Join us tomorrow, K2 2.2, episode 11, coming soon. Appreciate you guys. See you tonight.